Escape from Tarkov. If you're a gamer, you've likely heard of it. You've heard the name, you might have seen streamers playing it, friends playing it, maybe spotted some quote-unquote controversy surrounding the game on one issue or another on Twitter and Reddit. So, what is this thing? Tarkov is many things, but to sum it all up to the lay gamer, it is trying to be both a hardcore first-person shooter combined with role-playing game elements, or FPS RPG. First-person shooter. You're familiar with the genre, and if you aren't, just look to the name. Through their eyes, you assume the role of a fictional character in a sometimes fantasy, sometimes realistic setting, with a gun. And sometimes multiple guns. This can describe Escape from Tarkov's primary gameplay. A now classic game genre, which found wide success in the 1990s, FPSs have evolved with small iterations throughout the more than 2 decades since. Throughout the years, the genre as a whole has seen anything from fast-paced arena-style shooters to slow, more methodical or tactical-style shooters, and everything in between. Small enhancements from core gameplay to movement, weapon recoil ballistics, and player abilities has led to traditionally slow evolution from where the genre once sat. That is to say, one developer with a great idea will go on to influence the majority of future development in the genre. Not every quote-unquote evolution to the genre sticks around forever, nor does it necessarily spread beyond a specific subgenre. But, as a whole, FPS games are largely iterative, as the core player base is known to stick to maybe just one game for a decade or more, even despite developers attempting to push further sales every year as in a Call of Duty or Battlefield, see Counter-Strike, Quake, Overwatch, or Valorant. Role-playing game. Sometimes subverting the original reasoning for the acronym, the RPG genre has seen wide variances in tone and setting, but has largely maintained essential key elements that define the genre, namely skills and stats. Sometimes actively controlled, sometimes passively improved through use, various defined character statistics can make the player character better in almost every way, from physical abilities to mental and social acuity to their accuracy with a weapon, etc. ad nauseum. In addition to stats, there are also plenty of further tropes that are utilized within an RPG setting, such as inventories, quests, and, related, lore. This genre defines the other side of Tarkov. Now, Escape from Tarkov is not by any means the first game to attempt to merge these genres into one. However, the functional elements implementation into a competitive, hardcore FPS is somewhat, at least, unique. Which brings me to my next point. What is a hardcore game? Arguably the most seminal RPG ever made, Diablo II introduced to their Battle.net multiplayer what could be considered the godfather to all hardcore game modes. In Diablo II, there was a persistent game world, but when the player character died in hardcore, it lost all items, stats, and progress made in the playthrough. With every death, the player would have to create a brand new character and start from scratch once again. There have been many implementations of this mode to games ever since. However, it usually comes as an alternative to the primary game mode. Tarkov finds a seemingly happy middle ground, with loss of almost all items equipped to your main character upon a death, but with persistent skills and inventory stash, allowing you to maintain a sense of progression as long as you survive. While this may not be quote-unquote true to the hardcore of old, it offers enough tension in each match or raid for stakes to play a major part in decision-making on a live battlefield. The very definition of a hardcore game type in any game is enough to ward off many players from even attempting it. But for many others, this tension adds another element to a feature-rich soup that can make any game immersive and fulfilling to play. One final important thing. To add to the hardcore elements of Escape from Tarkov, there is no introduction to the game, so to speak. There is no tutorial. Once you purchase the game, you are left to your own devices to explore what the game has in store for you. This leads to the community playing a substantially large part in the game's experience. You can go in knowing nothing, but sooner rather than later, you'll have questions, and for that, there are wikis, third-party apps and utilities, and a wealth of digestible content available on the internet to inform your experience in this fictional world. If you choose to enter the world of Tarkov, be prepared to die more often than living, and to lose more than you'll ever gain. Welcome to Tarkov. This video is the first in multiple scripted series I have planned for this channel, but they can take time to produce, so I appreciate your patience while I continue to focus on making this content, and allowing me to express my love for gaming in general. In the meantime, you can follow my socials, catch video releases every week right here on YouTube, and find me streaming regularly. I'm making a career out of this, so a little goes a long way, and appreciate your support. Thank you very much. My name is Gray, and I'll see you on the next one.